Yeah. Okay, so you were talking about, I guess, defending your reputation.
Yeah.
At any cost. Was that kind of par for the course for guys that were coming out on the front of extreme music or thrash music at the time?
No, because we were really the only fucking ones, and we were the first fucking band, Exhorder, to come out of the band that we were in before that and deviate from the system. So we were kind of looked at like, and we were told shit like, the chicks ain't never gonna come see that.
And by deviation, what are you talking about? Typifying the era, like hair bands and
Yes.
Okay.
We made it clear. Well, at least I did. I made it a clear cut line. Okay. Once I'm out of this, I don't want nothing to do with hairspray. Which I don't want to see it no more. And I look. So what I'm trying to tell y'all is there's another world over here. I tried to take people with me. You know. I tried to tell them there's a better way. You know, and I knew a couple of guys that were doing this thing and was just doing it to make money. They had no job, they didn't want a day job.
Just doing what?
Just playing music, you know,
okay.
Playing covers, you know, making enough money to survive. You know, they all living together and shit and doing what they can to be together, you know, and make it. And I'm trying to tell them, listen, I know you hate this shit, you know, come with me, come with us. You know?
Yeah, right.
Let me, you know, and a lot of it was resistance, man, you know. The chicks will never listen to that. You'll never make a dime playing that kind of music, you know. And then you know what was funny? A fucking year later, all of the same guys are fucking heavy now, and they're big names today. You know, they
yeah.
You know, and everybody, you know, the times were changing. It was easy to kind of leave that thing, and look, there was a lot of good talent here that was, in my opinion, needed to get out of that sooner than later and become what they are today. You know.
Yeah, I mean, a pioneer is a tough gig in itself. You know what I'm saying? Do you, I guess I was going to ask what your attitude was towards those people at that time. Did you feel like they were selling out, or, you know, not so much were their feelings of ill will, like nothing like that, but did you feel like they just didn't get it, or did you feel like that's okay, they can do their own thing, but I'm going to do this? Like, what was your attitude towards their view?
Well, it wasn't good. So,
okay.
So at first it kind of was, you know, but then you know, it kind of got to be, well, you know, you're telling me I'm never going to make a fucking dime playing this shit.
Yeah, that was a bit much.
Yeah, you know, so it's almost like you're trying to discourage me from, you know, this. So I just, you know, to be honest, I started a feud with a couple of them, you know, and I'm not proud of it today. You know, it was kind of childish and shit, but, you know, at the time, but, well, now. But at the time, I felt like I was, you know, defending my fucking honor. Like, hey, man, you know, if you're gonna fucking, you know, I'll call you a fucking poser if you're not gonna fucking, if you're gonna call me, tell me I'm wasting my fucking time, man. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You know. So that got to be beefish, you know, and we had beef. You know, we had a little beef very briefly with a couple of, you know, guys over it and shit. So yeah, my attitude wasn't good toward it, you know. And look, I only speak for myself. I'm not speaking for the rest of the guys, you know.
Yeah, I get it. You sounded like a little bit of a rowdy individual.
I was, man.
Mr. Vinnie.
I'm mellow now. Shit. You know.
Yeah.
I'm tired, actually.
Yeah.
So no, man, it wasn't, you know, but it all cleared itself up, you know. It was just young teenage beef, man, and I made fun of a couple of them, and they fucking, you know, and we fought a little bit over it, and
sure,
everybody shook hands a year later.
So you attribute it to your age at the time and not, excuse me, the musical path that you were choosing, or was it a little bit of both?
It was definitely both, man, because I was so in love with hardcore and real metal, dude, and you know, just heavy music in general. I was so in love with it. It was everything. I literally would rather die than to, you know, don't throw me a can of spray net, man. I'd rather die.
Yeah.
I'd take my own fucking life before I do that kind of. So it really was. I was defending that music, that culture, and I was just trying to tell everybody, listen, a year or two from now, you're gonna be fucking doing it anyway. Let's do it. Come on. Let's change. Look, they doing it uptown. Let's change our fucking turf too, man.
Sure.
Okay, well, the chicks don't like it, but they will. you know?
Right.
How many chicks want to watch dudes fucking look like chicks for, how many years is that going to last?
Right.
Eventually
Yeah,
you're going to want a real fucking man.
It's true. I ask because recently, more than once, it's come up. So, I've been a fan of many different genres, one of which was hip-hop, coming up as a child.
That's cool. I like hip-hop.
And what was kind of revealed to me over time was that this is not just a genre of music. Hip-hop is composed of elements, turntablism, graffiti, breakdancing, MCing, these things. And I always thought that that was unique unto that genre.
Yes.
And it's kind of been revealed to me recently through these interviews that that's just not the case. I interviewed a guy that was, he's really into funk music. He's got his own funk band. And for him, it is a way of life. He said it's not, he refuses, he was kind of indignant about it. He was like, it's not just a genre of music. It's a mindset. It's a presentation. It's a stage presence. It's the way you dress. It's the way you think and act. And I'm like, the assimilation started bringing me back to what I learned later on in life about hip hop. And I just loved that idea so much.
That the culture was so interwoven into the music.
Whatever it is, because let's face it, like music just as a medium, you can't describe it verbally. Like there's no vernacular that I could convey to you to make you feel like I felt when I heard something.
Exactly.
And it's an emotion. Sacred to me. And for him to describe his love for funk music, and dude lives it. Like he looks like Parliament walking down the street.
Right. He's in it.
120, dude. And I admire that about him. But for him to kind of convey that message to me and make me see, it is comprised of elements. And it doesn't matter what genre you choose. Like the mindset, not just for the performer, there's the presentation, the showmanship and all of those things, but there's a certain mantra that might go with it, a certain way of life that might go with it. You can't be a serious rapper unless you're on the streets so many years. Like they have created levels to different genres. You're not going to sing about country music if you live in the city and have everybody take you seriously. Exactly. You got to earn it.
Exactly.
And I think hardcore music is one of those things because you have to live it. You can't be hardcore. You can't play thrash music unless you've actually lived that. So I don't think it's too far-fetched. And the reason I was asking, was it your age or was it the genre? Is because, and I think you answered appropriately, it's both. A little bit of bravado in your age and also a little bit of necessity in the world of hardcore music, because you can't be hardcore unless you're married to that shit.
That's it.
Or else you're not.
That's it. Those are two genres. And funk's a great example. I mean, it is a niche genre. You know what I mean? It's not for everybody. And if you, it's like if you don't know nothing, right? You show up, like, when I walked in Jed's for the first time, first fucking thing I saw when I walked into my first hardcore show ever, walked into Jed's. You remember Doobie? Used to play with Graveyard Rodeo.
Heard him.
Drummer.
Yeah.
Big fucking damn near 7-foot motherfucker, right? Satanic as all hell. Fucking just an animal amongst animals. Okay. First thing I saw.
I'm thinking of Should Do Be a Fat City.
No, this guy. No, this motherfucker was a serious individual at the time. And I never met none of these people, man. I never seen none of them. I'm just there for my first show. The fucking ladies' room door, bow, comes kicking out, and here comes Doobie with a fucking chick over his shoulder. And he just takes her, and it was upstairs. He takes her, and he fucking walks her down the stairs, and walks her straight out the fucking door. I was like, I think I'm home, Yeah. Here's the thing, like, if you see that kind of shit for the first time, what I'm saying is like, if you enter into that thing and you go, oh, I have to behave, in order to be here, I have to behave this way, or I have to look this way. I mean, I guess there's a little bit of element to that, but to be honest, man, you just kind of fall into the culture. If you don't meld with the culture, you're probably not going to meld well with the music either, you know?
It wouldn't appeal to you. You wouldn't understand it.
Right.
One begets the other, I think.
Right. And look, I'm a huge funk fan, but I got to be honest, I don't go around with the, you know, looking like Bootsy, you know?
Sure.
But I played with a lot of funky Mardi Gras Indians, and I played in an organ trio with Mike for a long time, and I've been around, you know, that genre, and I love funk music. Matter of fact, you can hear it in Exhorder. You can hear it in my music today. You know, well, you haven't heard any new stuff yet, but I'm not so much into funk where I gotta, like, you know, I gotta be funk, you know.
Yeah.
But it is part of me, you know. But I get what you're saying, though. I do, you know. It's like if you embrace the culture, then I believe you can really embrace what the music really is, man. You know, that you can, I mean, because it can be so cookie cutter, man. You know, okay, I want to write a hardcore song. All right, I need to know 3 chords. And,
right.
You know,
yeah. I mean, that might work for the next commercial, but it's, you know, it's not going to tickle my brain cell, and I'll be able to sniff them out. I don't know about you, but
you can kind of tell. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell. You know.
So, so you had experienced, I guess, an anti-lifestyle, I guess, and that appealed to you because certain elements, certain parts of you were trying to spread that elsewhere already.
Big time.
When you were able to break away from the situation you were in, when the dust settled, who was with you and where were you going?
Well, I told Andy, man, I said, listen, bro, I can't do this anymore. I was basically given an ultimatum in that band. I was in a dressing room. We were about to play a show, and I was thrown some garments. Here, wear these tonight. And when I looked at these garments, I was like, I can't go out there like this, you know. And he said, well, you have to or you're out this band. I said, well, then I'll be out this band then.
Wow.
Tonight, motherfucker. So, all right, okay. You don't have to wear that. So that was the last show I played with him. And I told Andy the next day, I said, listen, I'm out of here. Okay, if you want to come with me, come on. But I'm starting another band. I don't know what it's going to be, dude, but it ain't going to be fucking this. So about 2 weeks later, you know, Andy goes, dude, fuck this. I don't want to be in this no more either. So he left and came with me. And
what was the name of this band? Because I don't think
it was called Sabotage.
Okay, I don't think you had
It's really nothing out there about it. It was only around for a couple of little years, you know, back then, you know, and not a big to do, but
yeah.
Andy, I think it was Andy fucking started that band. I don't even remember. But anyway, Andy's like, fuck, I can't do this no more. So he came. And then we started writing Slaughter in the Vatican together. And, you know, we didn't have a singer. It was just me and him, you know. So eventually David Main says, I gotta get out of here too, you know. So he left and came with us. And then we went and found Chris and Kyle. And, you know, about a year after that, maybe a little less, maybe about 6 to 8 months, but we spent a little time together writing and playing and plotting and scheming, you know, and the whole time we were getting heat from the place where we left, you know. So
what do you mean by that? Getting heat from the place where you left?
Well, you know, the cover world, you know, all the people in the other cover bands are like, y'all fucking nuts, you know.
Yeah.
So but we didn't give a fuck, you know. So we went and found Chris Nail, and Kyle Thomas was loitering around a DRI show somewhere in town, and he was 16, and you know, Andy come up to me and he said, I met this guy, he says he can sing. I said, okay, fuck, give him a try, you know.
And again, punk was the kind of...
That was the thing that brought us all together, you know.
Gel.
When me and Andy and David left, you know, Metairie for good, so to speak, you know, we just, you know, everything we did was stemmed out of the hardcore scene at that point, because we really couldn't hang out. And I mean, we did hang out in Fat City, but we didn't fit in anymore, man, you know. We were like fish out of water, dude.
And this is circa what year?
Fuck, 80. I started Exhorder in 80, the summer of 85 is when I fucking, the end of that summer, I peeled out of there and I said, man, I'm out. I can't do this no more.
All right.
Then it took till about '86-ish, beginning of '86, to get Chris and Kyle and the other two involved, you know. And then we just kept writing songs from there and going forward, you know. And then I think we played our first show at in the summer of it was the summer of '86 on Franklin Avenue.
Okay, so that's not a huge span of time. No. But I gotta ask though, I mean, how are you eating? Because I mean, the cover situation wasn't a gold mine, but that was how you were feeding yourself. So.
Well, not really. I mean, dude, all of us were staying with our fucking parents. You know?
Oh, okay.
We were kids. I was fucking 17 years old when I started Exhorder.
Okay.
You know?
I didn't realize. Okay, I thought the band was living together at that point.
No.
The first band.
No.
Sabotage.
No, we were all staying with our own folks. You
Gotcha.
know, we were just kids, man.
So
you know?
You had the luxury of time to kind of formulate this, what you wanted it to be before you jumped out on stage.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we and it was a good amount of time because we couldn't find a singer, man. Like I had a badass drummer. I had Jeff DeWarte at the time, and if Jeff sees this, he'll love this. But he was at the time, he was the baddest drummer in town, okay? And the only dude that I could see pulling off the shit that I was writing and wanted him to do. So he agreed to do it, and he goes, well, and then he called me like a week or two later, and he goes, Vince, I gotta move to fucking LA. I'm like, fuck, you're fucking killing me. He's like, it's okay though. I got a guy who's even better than me. I was like, fuck, that's impossible. He says, no, Andy's got a mohawk and he'll fit in with y'all. So he gave me Chris Nail's number on a fucking little piece of fucking Matchbox or some shit. And I called him, and that was that. So that was the nucleus of the band for a good while before we got a singer. We went through a couple of guys coming in and out, and it just wasn't, you know.
Yeah.
But Kyle, you know, he was special, man. You could, even when he was young, you know, you could tell, man, this dude gives a shit, you know. He's a worker, you know. And he made it happen, man. He did, you know. And he took a lot of, at the time, he was very pliable, you know. He could absorb information and turn it into results, you know?
Yeah.
He's still like that, you know.
Make them subscribe. They'll like you, but you gotta go.